guys! Today we have the one and only Tesla Model Y. So, is the Tesla Model Y the best EV you can get for $25K? We're gonna go through all of its little features and I'm gonna let you know. Plus, you'll get my reaction as we take this thing for a drive. Starting off with the exterior of the Model Y here. First, we have our big frunk under there. Yes, my favorite part of any EV, and I'll show you how to pop that up in just a sec. And then we have our headlights over here, which look super good and almost like eyes, just looking at you going down the road, and they are very bright. We also have our turn signals in our headlights right here, and then under there, these are our fog lights. And just the front end aesthetic, I really like how it doesn't have like a fake kind of plastic grille like some EVs you see. It just continues with the body. It looks clean, it looks smooth. And then this little kind of grille under there is just for some cooling, but it's not abrupt. It just all flows together really nicely. And before I get going down the side, one thing I really love is that you can actually see your big gleaming white seats through your big windshield, which is something else that I really like. It's just smooth. It goes along with that glass piece on the top, so it looks like it's cohesive, and it's a really nice windshield. Good job, Tesla. So coming down the side here, Tesla has listened to their customers and just started to produce all black trim for the ongoing models here. I really like that compared to the chrome in the previous models. It just gives it a nice aesthetic. It really goes with every color that they offer. And then we have our first side camera right there on the side. Really helps for blind spots. You know, it's easier than a mirror, to be honest. I have been already spoiled with this little camera here, just using it for just a second. And then coming down here, we have our door handles, which is not your ordinary door handles. I'll show you how to use that in just a sec as well. And then onto our second camera is right here in this pillar. And your cameras actually work when you put your turn signals on, so it really, really helps visibility. Moving along to the back of the Model Y here. First starting off, this side right here is your charge port. And then we move on to these nice taillights. I really like how bright they are and how it's just like a simple little line design. Some people do way too much, but I like the Tesla taillights. I think they look really cool. And then coming down right here, we have our backup camera right under this Tesla T. And next to that is your trunk button that you press to open the back hatch. Down here, we have our big plastic diffuser. Maybe they could have done a little more with that. But this little panel under here is actually where your tow hitch would be if you have that option. And I really just love how this whole back part of the car comes together from the front. It does get wider, you can definitely see that if you're just standing next to it, but it also has a sort of sharp edge that just looks cool and sporty. And I think they did a really great job working with aerodynamics for this car. It's a great mix of form and function, and it's super aerodynamic and just looks super sleek and bubbly and cool. Now, jumping into the trunk here, like I mentioned, your button is right here under this Tesla T, and it just goes up for you. Nice, smooth, pretty quick. Definitely quicker than the Fisker, I will say. But I mean, look at all of this room back here that you already have without even putting the seats down. Like, it is so wide. They really give you every single inch of this car to work with. And because this back part is like kind of curved, you get even more top head room if you got something like taller that you need to stick back here, which is super nice. It doesn't just abruptly go down like some cars. First off, we have our under the trunk storage, and it is so deep. You can fit so much in this car. It's insane. So we lift up this little back piece here, and it's under here. And if I put my hand up there, it's literally like all the way mostly up my arm. Like, there's so much room down there, you guys. And even behind that, there is another storage spot right behind your seats. If you lift up that first little flat piece of your carpet, there's even more storage down there. And this is actually a feature that they have added, is that this front piece holds itself up. Finally, like you don't even have to hold it up while you're loading stuff in there. So keeps itself in place, and then when you're done, you just lift it up a little bit and put it back where it needs to go. On each side of the trunk, we have these really deep cubbies that go up to about my elbow. Also a lot of storage, so you have one on the left, one on the right. And on your left over here, you do have a 12-volt plug that you can plug things into. Also on the left, you have your electric seat lay down buttons, but they do not come back up. So you will have to go and pick your seats back up, but it is convenient for when you need to quickly get them down, and you can just hit the buttons to do so. So I'm gonna show you that right now. First one, they're like little pull buttons. So you kind of pull them towards you a little bit. It's not just like a press button. And then there's your other one. And look at all of that room. Look at this. A literal whole me. I could fit probably 2 entire ones of me back here. It's so big and so tall. Like, I love all this room. And just a few more things about the trunk area here. One, we have our little light up at the top on our hatch door, which actually projects perfectly into the middle of your trunk area. And then also on the door, it has like a nice little carpeted area. So if things like move around in the trunk, it's not scratching up the door on that piece of plastic, which was a really nice touch. Good thinking, Tesla. And then we also have 2 big old speakers back here so that you are immersed in the sounds of your Tesla driving down the road, because what else do you need to hear? You can't hear the car, it's silent. So you need to be thumping in here. And then right here is our trunk button and how we close it. It is a little car with the little trunk open. And really cool. So your middle seats do fold down independently if you want to put some like wood planks back here or something. So there's this little handle right there, and that's what you press to release the latch. And so you can fold that down, throw it down, whatever. But you see this little latch right here to hold it in place. You see it? Now you don't. That's pretty cool how it just disappears like that. Or like I mentioned, you can just lay it down flat and you have stuff you can put through there. Before this video gets started, I need you to go check out me on my socials. I love checking out cars on the side, but I post all of my best content in the link below. Plus, you'll get to see the review of this awesome new Model Y Juniper refresh. And for our Frunk storage, how you get this open is you can either pop it open in your screen in the car, or you can use your app and just tap it and it will pop open the little latch for you. And what I love is that you can just grab this thing and pull it up. There is no latch to push up on that's extra or anything like that. So then we lift it up. It is not auto like pop open, right? So the struts are actually kind of built into the car in a way. They're not like normal struts that would pop this all the way open for you, which is definitely different. But starting up here, there is this big plasticky foam piece for like sound deadening and things like that on this top of the frunk. Moving down, we have our windshield washer fluid right here, which is just about all you need for this car, which is super nice. Gosh, I love EVs. Aren't they so simple? Coming down, we have our massive frunk that I would use every single day for every item. I don't even know if I'd use the trunk. Like, this is just so convenient and very deep. Once again, at least past my elbow. And it's very wide. I'm sure you could fit most of your groceries in here. On this frunk bottom piece, we have our tow hook little area built in. That's cute, so you can just pop it in and out for when you don't make it to the charger. It's right there, okay? And then right here, we have our 2-in-1 button. It is your kidnap button and a light in there in case, you know, you get stuck in your frunk. Now, let's see if I fit in this. And I do! Look how cozy! It's so roomy. Like, I even have more room for my legs. This is actually just a fun. This is so comfortable, actually. It's like a perfect curve for your back. This is so funny. I would sit here all the time. So for a few specs on this car, this is a dual motor, so it is all-wheel drive. It has about 425 horsepower, goes 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, and has a range of about 320 miles. Plus, you can get these for around 25 grand now. So cheap. Now hopping onto the interior of the Model Y, but first I gotta show you the key. So yes, the credit card Tesla key. It actually has like a little chip in it that kind of goes to your car, and if you ever lose this, it's only like 15 bucks to replace. Or you can use your phone as a key, of course, and you just tap it right here on this pillar piece, and it unlocks your car for you if you don't want to use your phone. And to get into the doors, you just press in on the handle and pull out with your other fingers, revealing your gorgeous interior. Now onto the inside of the Model Y here. And first, I just want to say I love how simple Tesla makes their interiors. They are not too bulky. They just want you to have everything in one section, and that is on your screen, and that just works perfectly. Like everything you press, it's just chef's kiss. So I love the Tesla white. I love how soft and cushy the seats are. I feel like I could sit in here for a really long time and like my back not hurt, unlike some of the other cars that I've been in. I'm like, but these are nice, cushy, and they're just perfectly lined. Like everything feels good in here. And I really love how they carry the white leather onto the doors and the whole dash area there. So, starting off on a few things of the interior here, we have our actual door button to get out, right? It's like a little car with the left door open, so you actually press that one to get out. A lot of people at first think that this little handle right here above your window buttons is like where you pull up to like open the door, but that's actually your emergency latch. So don't do that. And then below that, we just have some really simple window buttons right there. Moving on up, we have our magnetic visors, which is super cool and convenient. I hate having to fumble around and push it into its little slot. And then we pull down our little magnetic mirror cover here, and it has a nice little light in there. It's pretty crisp, looks good, not too bright. And then you put that back, and the mirrors and visors are actually very good for this car. Like it actually blocks out a lot of the light that you would need to block. Even though it has a really long windshield, like the mirrors and visors work great. They're in their right spots, you know? Next to that, we have two little lights here at the top along with your hazard button. Below that, we have another little camera for your inside cabin, followed by your borderless mirror here, which actually still provides pretty good visibility. Even though you have a smaller window back there, you can still see behind you really well. Now getting into the steering wheel here, it looks very simple, yet has a lot of functionality behind it, which I love. So behind it first, we have our wiper controls and our turn signals right here on this stalk. On this stalk, we have our gear selector, and then you press into park. And also, if you do double tap on this stalk, you will be in autopilot. And these buttons right here, they have no little logos on them, nothing specific, but it's actually, they're based on what you're doing in the screen, right? So sometimes they will be different depending on what you're doing. Like this side is like your volume control, and you can skip songs and things like that normally. But when you go to adjust your mirrors or your steering wheel, you also use this side of the buttons here. And then this side is normally some autopilot controls and things like that when you're actually in autopilot. But then when you're in a screen doing something else, it could tell you to use this side of the button for things, which is super cool. So it's like very versatile in what it wants you to do. And now we're gonna jump into this big screen here. first we're going to start off on this whole little bottom row here. And what I like most about this is it shows your temperature and things like that, how much your volume is up. But right here in the middle is where you need to be for all of your functions. You click that middle button and there's all kinds of little apps here that you can actually hold down just like a regular app on your phone. And you can move it down here and place things up here that you might not want there. So it's very customizable and very easy to use. Now getting into your climate controls here, we don't have physical vents on the dash there. So this is where you will do all of your controlling of where you want your air to go. So you can just move these all around, make it exactly where you like it. And all of these buttons here are just simple, easy to see, easy to use. And I really, really love how it literally is your interior right there. Like, it's not some basic fan, it's nice, and it's your actual whole Tesla interior. Now onto the rear. We do have all rear heated seats. So you hit all those, and it does have an all off button, which is very convenient. And we do have a few more modes here at the top for you to use. So there's like a keep mode, which will keep your cabin at the same temperature, kind of like lock it a little bit so it's not as adjustable. And then we have dog mode for when you want to leave your pup in the car and it sets to a perfect temperature and they're not overheating or things like that. That's one of the big perks of Tesla. It's so cool. And then we also have camp mode for when you're camping in your Model Y and it's kind of hot outside and you need a little air throughout the night. You turn that on and it will stay on for you and keep it at your desired temperature. Now getting a little more in depth with the screen here. First, we have a few things up at the top. We have our driver profiles. So if multiple people drive your car, you can just click your name and you adjust your seat, your steering wheel, your mirrors, things like that, and it will fit you every single time. Then we have like the time, the temperature, and where you want to go. And I just love how it is just such a very useful like map screen. You can change it to satellite and it'll show you like all kinds of traffic and things like that. Like there's different kinds of map modes, if you will. And it's crisp, it's clear, it's always useful. So a few things, if you click your little Model Y down here in the left-hand corner, it pops up this screen here. So first, we do have a little search bar if you know what you're looking for, which is pretty cool. But starting in controls, there's just everything you need right here in this first screen. So we have like mirrors, child locks, window locks, things like that. You can also control your wipers from this main screen here, or you can use the button on your left steering stalk and press in and it'll go through the little wiper modes for you. And then if you ever need to adjust your mirror or your steering wheel, like I mentioned, those left-hand buttons do that. So say you wanted to adjust your steering wheel here, you click that and it shows you to use the left steering buttons for that. And just like that, you just press a little and there it goes, moving for you, which is super cool. And this is also how you open your glove box from in this little control screen here. And then if we move on down to dynamics, we just have a couple other options here for you, like your region, braking, and how you want things to feel. We also have our stopping mode. So we have creep and roll and hold. So your creep and roll kind of feel more like a normal car, how they just kind of like keep going until you press your foot on the pedal. But when you press hold, it will completely stop for you and hold the car there so you do not have to keep your foot on the brake. Coming down to autopilot, like I did mention, you can do a single pull option or a double pull if you want to adjust that for your stock here. And one of my favorite features about this car is that it does give you the option to turn on the green traffic light chime. You're sitting on your phone, you're playing on your phone at a stoplight like everybody else, and this car tells you when the light is green, watching for you, and it'll ding at you when it turns green so the people behind are not honking while you are sitting here playing on your phone. That is so freaking cool. Like, are you kidding me? And another super cool feature about this whole car is that with all the cameras surrounding the whole thing, you get Sentry mode, which records things even when you're not in your car. So say an incident happens outside, your Tesla is recording it. So if they need proof of anything, they can literally come to you and it is on your car for them to see, which is cool. And it's also very useful in like car accidents and things like that. You would be able to see exactly whose fault it was. So if we come down here, there's a few more options, of course, and then Joe mode is the most known thing kind of in this car. Some guy named Joe tweeted to Elon one day and was like, hey, some of these chimes are a little loud for my kids in the back. So that's exactly what Joe mode is it lowers some chime volumes and puts them more towards the front so that it is quieter for your children in the back. And under service, there's like your car and things like that, a few service manual things. And if we click towing, you might want to tow with your Model Y. Nope, it shows you how to properly tow your car, not towing with your car, if that makes any sense. That's silly, but it's kind of cool. And another super cool thing is if you go into the colorizer menu here, you can actually change the color of your car on your screen. How freaking cool is that? You can make it solid color, metallic, matte. I mean, that is just so neat. Make it any color you want. I would change this every single day, I think. And I really love that you can just move this whole thing. It is like a whole kind of 360 deal here. It is the wheels of your car. It is the interior of your car. This is literally your spec on this display here. And another super cool thing is when you roll down your window in real life, it rolls down your window on your screen. What? So cool! And I just absolutely love how every time you click something on this screen, it just instantly works. Unlike some of the previous screens that I have done reviews on in other cars, Tesla just always works. And I think that's why I just love them as a brand so much. They just know how to put things together and make a very functional car. So if you change anything in your screen settings, like any locks, lights, little things like that, it actually goes towards the driver's profile that you are on. So if you have somebody else driving your car, they can adjust their screen settings as well. And of course we have our cameras all around this car, and this is how you see them when you just want to see them while you're sitting. So we have like a little camera eye down here, and it shows you your side angles and your back angle right there. And then onto this side, the coolest part about having a Tesla is all the games you get that you literally play with your steering wheel and just with this whole screen. Like this beach buggy game, you literally play with the gas pedal and your steering wheel as the car in the game. It is so cool. But you literally have so many options. Like, I'd be in here all day playing these games, just sitting in the garage or something. And if we move over next door, we have our like whole toy box area. So we have a few little cool things like our emissions. If you want your back passenger to have a little whoopee cushion under them. And then next we have our colorizer, of course, which changes the color of the car. We have boombox, which you can change some different kinds of sounds in this screen here. So if you want to change your lock sound to a clown horn, you can, okay? And then we have some like tracks where you can make an audio masterpiece, Tesla says. Romance mode, where it will put a whole little fireplace, a crackling fire on your screen here for when you want to, get romantic. And then sketch pad, you can literally draw whatever you want. Huh? How'd that get there? And then Next to that, you can go to Mars and your maps will literally turn into Mars and you will be a little rover riding around on the screen there. We have Santa mode for our Christmas time, and then Rainbow Road for when you just want a little ride around the rainbow. Okay, what is this, Mario Kart? And now getting into storage here, we have a little bit and it's very roomy and nice and you can fit a lot in these little cubbies here. So starting off on the side, we have our door storage on each side, and then if we get into the center console area here, we pop this little thing up. We have some wireless charging built in right here, which is cool. And then if we come down and we pop this little guy up, there is a cubby right under here, which goes almost to my elbow. Very deep. Love that. We have a few cup holders here. And then this center console, there's a little button right here on the top. Pop that open. There's a little tray right here for smaller items. And if we get into here, there's another deep cubby, goes almost up to my elbow as well. Back. And then how we open our glove box here, you go in controls and glove box it is. It's kind of deep, a little bit, but you can still fit a little bit in there. So just a few papers and something small that you may need. Now let's hop into the back seats. Into the back seats here, and first off, it is so roomy back here. Like, as a regular human being, I am like everywhere. Okay, so much room, so much headroom. You could fit so much stuff back here, even using your floorboard if you need extra storage, because it doesn't have that hump in the middle from your transmission. It's just flat, so you can lay stuff back here if you need to. But starting off, we have our button out here to get out of the car, and then we have our window button, some little storage on your door pockets here, and then we have seat back storage right here in this nice little leather pouch. Next to that, we have some vents and two little USB-C chargers right there on the back of the center console. And then moving into our seat area, first off, I really love how Tesla put their actual seat belt clicky things in the seats, so you're not just sitting on them. Like, they actually have their own little spot, which is super cute. And then if we get into this little center area, it is our armrest, which is super nice and cushy, just like our seats here. And we have a couple cup holders and things like that. But another cool thing is you have little tiny lights on each side here, plus a little hook to hang things on. So cute. And of course, one of my favorite features of almost any car that has it is just the big piece of glass / sunroof area. It doesn't open, but I absolutely love it. It lets so much light into the car, and it's a little tinted, so it's not as hot in here. And it just flows so well with like the back hatch and just the front windshield, and it just really opens up the space. It's great. All right, taking off in the Tesla Model Y here. First, to drive, you put your foot on the brake, and then you can press down on the right stalk, and then you take off. We can go. First impressions is actually how smooth this car drives. Like, this road is a little bumpy here and there, like it has some ruts and stuff, and it just like feels like it absorbs it so well. Like, you can kind of feel how it almost sort of tries to even itself out. Like, its suspension feels super good. Visibility is so good as well. Like, this huge windshield really does a lot. It like goes all the way up to the top here. The windows are very big and wide, and the mirrors are like this kind of boxy shape. So you have like a good corner view of like if you had any blind spots or things like that. But your cameras also really help with blind spots as well, because, I mean, there is none, right? Like, it shows you all of your surroundings when you turn on your turning signal so that you're never running into the person next to you in the other lane. And I just really love how comfortable this car is. Once again, like the seats are just so cushy, and it's just like sitting on a little pillow or a little marshmallow or something. Like you just kind of sink in and you're cozy in here. And like all this headroom is super nice. All the room you could ever want in here. I really, really enjoy this car. Like I can see myself in this 100%. And I know Tesla has a lot of quality issues, and that's kind of what people like dog them for, but this one specifically seems to be very well built. I didn't see like any kind of panel gaps or things like that. Like, I know you guys can't really hear it, but there's not a lot of wind noise. Like with previous Teslas that I've been in, it's like either been one side or the other, and it's just had like a lot of wind noise. Like the windows just didn't really line up right. But this one is very quiet on the inside, and you just feel like you're in your own space. Like it's super comfortable, super nice. And for this being such like a big SUV vehicle, it goes so fast, and you're just able to cut through traffic like it's nothing. You're just riding along. Like everything is so comfortable. That's all I can say about this car. Everything just works. I like how everything's in the screen just because it's like technology based, you know, like it does not have any buttons, but like having Teslas previously, I know how to use them. So it's like super easy for me. But I know for some people it could be a lot, especially for those who like don't know a whole bunch about technology and just having to focus everything right there on the screen. And like, yes, the screen is kind of big and in your face, and that is like the heart of this vehicle. But like, once you learn it, it's almost like muscle memory, and you just know where everything is, and it's super easy to use at that point. And with this white interior, I just love it so much. It is really different, and I'm glad they have it as an option other than the black, because I know the black can kind of absorb your body oils, and it kind of turns like shiny over time. It doesn't stay that matte, and I know that gets really hot, especially here in Florida. So like this white really stays cool, and you don't have to worry about burning your butt when you get in on these seats, especially with being able to turn the AC on in that app. Super convenient. And I love how it's just like a simple little push down on your turn signal over here, and it just stays on for you until you turn into your lane with the little camera up the whole time. So even if you want to double check or triple check your little blind spot camera, that is there for you the entire time. I just love the technology in this car. It just really fits, you know, it's super easy to use. And I'm going around some corners here pretty quick, and it seems to just be taking them like so well. Even though this is like a very big vehicle, it just goes. Like the agility is so good. It goes exactly where you need it. I mean, this is just like so fun. Like, whee! It goes around these little corners so fun and like tight, and like you wouldn't think that for like this huge SUV vehicle, you know, but Teslas just know how to go and work. I just actually love this about mini EVs, but especially Tesla, is just like, it just doesn't really make a sound, you know, except when you go in reverse and it's like, woo, 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 woo. It's so cool. It's like a little spaceship. But I'm gonna go 0 to 60 right here really quick, okay? It still has a lot of pickup for just being the long range, but the performance definitely hits way harder than the long range. I've never actually been in the long range before compared to the performance, but that one definitely has like a roller coaster feel, like in your stomach kind of. This one's just more of like a really good gliding quickly to like 60. You know what I mean? It's not like crazy. So I think overall this is like a great affordable family car. Like if you want to jump into the EV world, like I think this is where to start, because now that the Juniper is out, people are like all hyped up about that, and you can get these for really cheap, and it's super, super practical. You can fit a ton of stuff back here. You can haul your whole family or your friends, like you get a ton of range. I would totally own this car, and I think it is awesome for the money. And so I did actually just do a review on the new Juniper refreshed Model Y, so I need you guys to go check that one out. And I'm so glad that you stayed till the end of the video and that you're gonna subscribe and like and go watch all the other rest of my reviews. Thank you so much. Now for my 3 favorite features. One has to be the massive frunk. I am so glad they actually used the front space. Unlike some EVs, I literally do not get why they don't put a frunk in most EVs. Makes no sense. But that one's actually very useful and you can fit a lot in it. 2 has to be that you can actually turn on the air conditioning from your app on the Tesla app. So it's super convenient, especially on a hot day. Like, a lot of cars can't do that unless they have remote start. You still have to be in a certain distance. But in your Tesla app, you can literally turn on your AC even if you're 500 miles away. And you can see your Sentry cams on your app as well, which is super cool. It's very integrative and there's no like distance kind of thing. 3 has to be the green light chime feature in this car. It probably saves so many people from being honked at. I think that's such a neat feature. Like, the car's literally watching traffic for you just so you can relax and be on your phone if you need to for just a sec at a red light, which is so cool. And for my Riley ranking, I will have to go a 9.2 on this car because, one, I just really love Tesla. Everything they do really works. I know some have their quality issues, but that's literally with any brand. Everything you do with this car literally just goes. The screen is perfect. All the buttons work. I especially love the app integration, so it's just always have your keys. You can never lock yourself out of your car, which is nice, convenient. And the fact that you can get these for 20 to 25 grand now, like, it is just a no-brainer to go with this sort of vehicle, especially with the space that you get. And that interior, though it's basic, is very premium and luxury, if you would say. It's luxury to me because I love the white. It's nice, but it's simple and it's very functional. And if you thought this car was cool, you have got to go check out the others that I have reviewed. Now, getting into the steering wheel, automatically move your mirrors, your steering wheel, your phone, or no, hang on. Talking into the microphone, and it's really quiet in here. On this little pillar,